Hey, welcome back to Uriel's Landing. So what I got for you today is this legal situation. I talked about it a little bit in just the Radiant Prayer I just did, but I have some guys that are coming after me. I guess they're my original mortgage, and that original mortgage was not legal or lawful. They defrauded me, and that's because of the way that negotiable instruments work, which is all housed under the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 3. That's at the federal level. We experience that at the state level. It's codified. So in Pennsylvania, it's Title 13. And so, how do the banks work? How does a check work? How does a draft work? How do you exchange money? What are the rules for this? It's all part of the UCC at the federal level to make consistent guidelines. And then it's all part of state law. In Pennsylvania, it's been state law for 60 years. But people don't really know about it, and if you talk about it with judges, they get real angsty. They don't like it at all. So, but we're going to talk about it a bunch because it matters. And one of the ways that it matters, it's so stupid, and it makes me so mad, but this is the way that it works. When I took out that mortgage, some bank didn't lend me their deposits. What actually happened is that they created brand new money based off of my signature. And then they lied to me. And they said, well, now it's a loan and you got to pay it back. So when I signed that thing, when I signed the promissory note, I did what's called a blank endorsement. And a blank endorsement means whoever has it can claim it. So in some ways, it's sort of fair what they're doing because, maybe I should know the law. Maybe I should know how commerce works. And maybe if I'm making $100,000 plus promissory note, I should go read up about how it works. But on the other hand, it's fraud by omission. Because there's literally magic words. The magic words are without recourse and pay to the order of. So if you write without recourse and you write pay to the order of, all caps, first, middle, last, and you put that in there, they can't take the money. And they got to give that money to you, which is not what they want to do. They want to defraud you of the entire value of the promissory note, plus the interest. You got 5% interest over 30 years. That adds up. That can almost double the amount that they can take and steal from you. And they want to do that. And they don't, when you go to a airport and you fly to Japan, there's little currency exchanges. And you can go and be like, hey, sir, I have these US dollars. I'd like some yen. And they'll trade them for you. And they'll take a small fee for that. And the same kind of thing happens with the Federal Reserve Bank. What they do is they take the promissory note, they call it a collateral security. You can take that collateral security, which is the promissory note that's been signed by you, bring it to the Federal Reserve discount window. If you have permission to do this, you got to sign up for this, get something like a registration or a license for it. And then you can give it to the Fed, and the Fed will give you US dollars. So let's say my loan was for $100,000 and I sign it and I leave it blank. I just sign it regularly like any normal person would. Well, the bank can go and transact that with the Fed, and they turn my promissory note, which is basically like a private contract, and they can get one-to-one dollars from the Fed. So if it was a $100,000 loan, they can get $100,000 from the Fed. But they get the interest. So, a 5% interest over 30 years, that can double the amount of mortgage payments. So instead of getting $100,000, they get $200,000. And then they lose a little bit because the Federal Reserve takes a small percentage, 1 to 5% or something like that. So, over time, immediately, they get 100% of the funds. And then over time, they get another 100% of the funds. And I should have had the funds. So there's a 3x swing of what this thing should have been. And so at some point after I had signed, I figured this out, and I told the bank, and I said, hey, bank, it looks like this thing went wrong. And if I just put these magic words on here without recourse, and I put in the words pay to the order of first, middle, last in all caps, and then I put by in my, capital first, but rest small caps, capital middle, small caps, capital last, small caps. If I had done it that way, then you should have given me this money. And because this is so dumb, it's not like it would have taken you 10 seconds to tell me, hey, by the way, if you do this, it's a 3x swing in how the money's distributed. Would you like to do that? Would you like to sign this thing mildly differently to not have this, $300, $600, $900,000 difference in your life? Well, yes, I would like that. You have defrauded me by omission. It's hard to detect fraud because you have to become an expert. You have to learn these things. You have to learn law to know what they're doing and then catch them doing it. And that's hard. So anyways, that's what's going on. And they're suing me. They sued me. I got served today. And initially I'm thinking, I'm getting served. This is terrible. My heart start racing. Then I just need a couple hours to process that out of me, let my body relax. I took some Sedalia, which is like an herbal remedy. Now I'm feeling better. And now I'm like, oh yeah, the universe is here to help me. It is not here to hurt me. It is here to help me. And getting rid of this thing is really important to me. One, because it's fraud, and I need to fight this fraud. Two, it probably represents something inside of me that's like a lack mindset. That, I'm not allowed to have freedom. I have to spend the rest of my life paying off this stupid debt because I'm not allowed to be free or some version of that. So we got to explore that. And we got to get rid of this thing. And I need some practice. I'm going to go fight the U.S. government here pretty soon. And I keep raising the stakes on them. We'll see at what point they bend or break. Because I ain't moving. I'm too old. I'm not bending the knee. Christ is king. I'm not bending the knee to anybody else. And we'll see how that goes. But that's the plan. All right. So for me to do that, I need some practice. And so, in a previous video, I said, look, I'm going to send these 4 nasty letters, and I'd like one of them to go to court so I get some experience fighting it. And I wasn't expecting it to be this one. But I'll do this. That's fine. Time to fight. Gloves off. They are vipers. They are snakes. They are scorpions underneath me. And I get divine authority here. You can't run around hurting people. That's not fair. But these people swung first. They sued me over the fraud that they committed. They volunteered. They volunteered as practice. That was very kind of them. So, it took me a second. First hour or two was rough. But now I'm back to smiles, and now I'm back to, oh boy, you messed with the wrong dude. There's a lot of dudes on this planet that don't know shit about law. I ain't one of them. You're in for a rough ride. So I've been planning what I'm going to do. But before I do all these things, first off, they have until the 24th before they formally default on everything. So I'm not going to write anything for another day or two. I'm going to take Christmas off and give myself a little break. But before I go and respond to this thing, I want to engage heaven. I want my guides in here. I want everybody in here. And I want this thing to play out a certain way. And I'm going to send that to the universe. And that's what this radiant prayer is doing. I'm going to send some code. I don't just want the universe to unfold however it's going to unfold. And this sort of my signal competing with everybody else's signal. And whatever happens, happens. I want my signal so crystal clear that the universe can do nothing except give me exactly what I want. And that's the power of where I'm trying to get here. So to do that, we gotta get ourselves in alignment. Mind, body, soul, heart. And then we gotta take action. So we're gonna start by doing this radiant prayer, and then we're gonna move into the conscious creation that we're trying to get into. So I've already done kind of my radiant prayer to start. That's in a previous video. So now I'm going to open this up to guides, to spirit, to the divine family, celestials, all of my ancestors. Everybody's allowed in here. Guides, you guys are great. If you're here for my highest and best, you are welcome. So next up, I got to get into my body. So normally that just takes a couple breaths, and I'm already walking, so I already feel like I'm in my body. I can feel the tense shoulders, and I can try to relax those a little bit. I can feel my heart beating as I calm. I'm a little bit swaying, like my feet want to keep moving, so my body's like swaying a little bit. But I feel like that's pretty good for being in my body. Next up, we got to open up my heart. So I say, hey, heart, it's nice to see you today. I need you to open up for me. You look like a rose that's kind of like in bud format, and I need you to spread wide open. And I can see my heart responding to that request. It has never told me no. It has always just sort of swung open. So thank you, heart, for doing that. And now we're going to take a couple breaths, because we got that divine spark in us, and we want to go give it some extra oxygen so it can grow. We just imagine our divine spark growing like a little candle. We're blowing oxygen on the candle. Breathing in through my mouth because my nose is a little stuffy. All right. You know, I've been doing this a while, so it doesn't take me very long to feel like I go from unfurled and heart big. That's good enough for me. And now what I gotta do is build a little a green holder for consciousness, and I'll explain that sort of in practice here. But you know, generally I just say, hey, heart, you know, I need a container. We're gonna make this thing a little consciousness seed, or a little consciousness vessel that we're gonna give unto Gaia. She's gonna go transmute this. So I need something to hold that consciousness, and I want my heart to make a green vessel. And I'm seeing something like a little acorn. You know, I don't think this is going to be a major. Sometimes I feel like my whole self has to die to get this new me in place, but I don't think it's that big. So this little acorn, a little sacred acorn, green, emerald, shiny, sparkly, that's perfect. All right, now I gotta ask my heart, how come I got to deal with this? You know, what's in here that's preventing me from living a life without this? And I hear back, you don't deserve freedom. So we're going to take that little piece of my heart. Thank you, heart. That's helpful for me to know. I'm going to put that in my green acorn. Off topic, it says, your children don't love you. Now, I know that they love me. I don't need to hear that. We're going to get rid of that program. So I'm going to grab that out of my heart and put that into my green acorn. I'm hearing you asked for this, and honestly, I did. So it's a little of my own request. I guess let's go put this into the acorn as well. You have no master of money, and this thing will haunt you forever. Okay, that's intense. That feels like I got to scoop out a little bit more and put that into my acorn. You don't deserve freedom, and you're going to be bound. All right, let's scoop that out too and put that in. There might be some other stuff, but I do this every day, so that's enough for today. And I'm going to say, hey, Gaia, and I can hear, hey. I'm saying, I got this consciousness acorn that I want to send your way. May I send that down? And I hear in my head, yes, love. So I'm going to lower that down with my mind's eye, put that down. And I can see it going into the earth and going away, which is perfect. So Gaia's got that. And I say, thank you, my love. Please transmute that into something way more awesome than what it's been. And she says, I can do that. I say, thank you, my darling. And then I stop, take a deep breath, and I let out a sigh. It's a sigh like I just completed something big. I need my whole body to know that that's gone. We did the work. We did the mental work. We went mining in our shadow self. We pulled out some nuggets of truth that these are old programs we don't need anymore. They don't serve us going forward. So we're going to put those away. And Gaia's got it, and I know she's got it. So I say, thank you, Gaia. You're the queen. I love you, my dear. Thank you. I did not want that consciousness in me anymore. And I'm so glad you got it. And I'm so thankful. Thank you for doing that. And now we got to switch into activating. That's the stuff that we don't want. Now we got to do the stuff that we do want. The stuff that we do want, we gotta dream big, and we gotta put that in place. And it starts, we need a light body to go up. So our green acorn is what went down. We got to make like a hot air balloon that's going to go up. And so to start, we're going to make a little pillar of light. There's sky energy above us. We're going to bring down that sky energy. It's already here. You know, we're just calling our attention to it. And it's going to go right through our head, our heart chakra, all the way down through our base and into the ground, and keep drilling all the way down to Mother Gaia in the like Jurassic core of our earth. And this rust-colored energy is going to come up, and we're going to shoot that thing all the way up to Father Sky, and we're going to make a little bridge. And then in our heart, you know, we got our green flame, our heart spark, our divine spark. And we're going to grab, like, when all these things start mixing, actually, I'm going to breathe in a little. I'm going to breathe in again. When all these things are mixing, we're gonna pull these out. I can feel a little golden thread in my heart. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna breathe life into it. But I'm getting guidance that I should do this with all my chakras. So I'm gonna do this all the way from the base, you know, down by my crotch here, and all the way up to my chakra in the crown. And I even think there's some above that are like higher dimensional chakras. So I'm gonna pull a little pinch from down below all the way up through my crown, and I'm going to breathe life into that. And now I can feel this sort of like lots and lots of different parts of my energy are into here. And I'm gonna plug this thing into like a little air bubble, maybe 1.5 feet away, and I'm gonna start pumping up my light body. I'm gonna fill it with the energy of each one of these. Each chakra, each part of me, I can feel them spinning. And as they're spinning, they're kind of cleansing themselves. So this beautiful, pure crystalline energy is going in. I can feel it. It's like filling up a bike tire, you know? It's filling up my light body. And I've been doing this a long time, so that feels pretty full to me. And that's full enough to float into heaven. And now what we got to do, we're going to put our hopes and dreams into this thing. So we're gonna create a memory by going into the future and then kind of into the past, and then we're gonna put that memory into this light body and have it float away to heaven here. So the way this works, I want a tower moment for this banking company, this lending company. So the tower is where it all comes crashing down. That's like a little tarot reference. So I'm sending tower energy to them. I would not be doing this to normal people and friends and family. I don't want to spend time doing negativity, but these guys are messing with me, and I have a right to spiritual self-defense. I have authority. I have freaking divine authority to trample the snakes and the scorpions underneath me. So, and some of this is for their higher good. They should learn that they have liability and that sometimes you shouldn't mess with everyone. So, not out of cruelty, but out of self-protection, I'm sending a tower moment. That's how I want this to go. I want these people like screaming and freaking the fuck out. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to go to like May or June of 2026 in my head. I'm going to be sitting in my office chair, and I'm going to read this note. It's like a fucking check. I got a check from them, and I win. And I can just see the guy having to write this, being like, "Holy shit!" You know, I see $50 million on that check. So we'll see what comes out of that. But that's what I see, and that's one of my threats to them: is that you keep pushing this, it's going to go to $50 million. It's like a $100,000, $200,000 loan. I don't know exactly where it's at right now. It's not huge. It's like a mortgage, you know. So I'm sitting in my office and I'm laughing my ass off because I got this check. And I see these dudes in their office screaming their freaking heads off. And, at one of the last things that they do, we have like an email exchange. And one of the guys accidentally forwards me like their internal email chain. And it's just filled with them screaming at each other. You did this. How did you let this happen? This is the dumbest thing we've ever been through. How did you let this happen? I quit. You can't quit. I'll fire you. Like all that nasty shit. Tower. Giant tower just comes crashing down. They're like screaming at each other. Because they also know that it's not just liability to me. It's liability to everybody. And if you here's some water here, that's what's behind me. It's kind of like a little sacred space of mine. So that's the energy I want to send. That's what I want to feel. And one of the things that we do to sort of like lock that in, I'm saying I go all the way forward to like June when all this stuff kind of comes my way, or like it's already resolved. We're just sort of waiting. But I'm going back a ways to when I know I win, and I just gotta remember it. And so my girlfriend's in the house. We're both in the kitchen, and I just tell her a story of, oh, I think I got him. I think I got him. You know, they failed to respond, right? I put in my motion for summary judgment. Maybe there's some other stuff, but at some point they just stopped responding, and silence is acquiescence. They give up. They lost. And, I'm just telling my girlfriend about not that something happened, but like something didn't happen. And that was everything I needed to have happen. And that's the moment I knew I had him. So I'm just laughing about it in the kitchen. So the money hadn't come in, and that's okay. It was just the satisfaction of knowing these clowns, they dipped out. They didn't want any more. It was like round 5. They threw in the towel. They were like, oh God, no more. We yield, please stop. They're like getting contacted by the FBI. They're getting contacted by the DOJ. Hey, we have some questions about your lending practices. What's going on here? They've had enough. Wave the white flag. They're done. And I'm just telling my girlfriend about that, I'm just laughing in the kitchen. Laughing in the kitchen. Laughing in the kitchen. All right. Well, that's normally we want to go like a little bit more boring than that. Normally what you want is like you're holding a pen in your hand. You don't question if you're holding a pen in your hand. You just know it's yours. It's your pen. It was on your desk. You know it. So you kind of want the energy as boring as possible. But I just felt like being in the joy of those moments. So they got some tower moments coming to them, and I got some freaking laughter moments coming to me. Now, that's kind of like a core memory bubble. And we want that core memory bubble to go into the light body. So with my mind's eye and with the help of my hands, I just kind of move that memory bubble into my light body. And then I say, hey, heaven, I would like you to accept this new core memory, this new plan. I hear we can do that. So I'm going to push it up with my hand a little, and I'm going to breathe behind it. And I can see that going away. It's going into the clouds. And I hear accepted. That's great. I don't have to worry about that anymore. 24 on the clock. Right, perfect. All right, so that got accepted by heaven, and I just want to clarify, let that be filled with joy for me, and some aggressive learning for the people that were messing with me. I'm hearing like, yes, can do. So I think that's got some good lessons in there. Now, like before, we got to breathe in. Breathe out. Gotta let it go. Now it's in God's hand. I've seen God do amazing things. And maybe I can, and maybe I can't do amazing things, but I know God can. My God spark, working with God, I feel great confidence that together we can make this little dream of mine happen. So I'm gonna call it in. I'm a gravity well. I am gravity embodied. And this scenario is coming my way, and it's going to bring joy and laughter and happiness to my life, and the equivalent of like fire ant bites, tower moments, like midlife crises. That's what's coming their way. And I don't mean to harm people that were, tangentially involved, but, for anybody that's coming in, tower moment. I herein cast tower. Enjoy. So there we go. Feels like that's gonna go. I'm hearing a little bit of no can do. You got this? Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Sounds like fun. So that's in God's hand. That's going up. That's allowed. And we're gonna see that come into form. And hopefully after they get enough fire bites, they're gonna say, you know what? Maybe we should let this guy go. Which is the whole point. Let me just have my freedom, do this the right way, stop trying to screw me over, pay some penalties because you were doing bad things, and then go on with your life with a few more criminal complaints and bar grievances and other life challenges than you had before you encountered me. So there we go. God's got it. I'm a magnet. This story is now coming to me. I'm going to rise up to heaven. Heaven's going to come down to me, and the two of us are going to meet, and we're going to have this story, and it's going to be filled with laughter and joy for me, and pain and consequences for the guys that messed with me. And that is the path, or the radiant path of the conscious creator, and over time, we'll see how that unfolds. Thanks for being here.